Welcome to another video, guys, of Active Aviation Lifestyle. Today we will talk about the Garmin D2 Charlie, the aviation watch that everyone's talking about, the new and exciting Garmin D2 Charlie. It's an aviation watch, and today I'm going to take you through the watch and tell you what I think about it. So this is the Garmin D2 Charlie, the Delta 2 Charlie watch, which is a third iteration of the aviation watch that Garmin has been making. Their first watch was the aviation watch, then the D2, then they brought out the D2 Bravo, and then came the D2 Charlie. And this latest and the greatest iteration is their best creation ever. It is based and built on a Fenix 5 watch model. The Sashi is predominantly a Fenix 5 watch, but it is up-spec'd and it gets a makeover. So this has this chrome bezel all around it, and you can see these yellow accent, and around the selector button there is another yellow accent there, and it's got all these markings all around onto the bezel there. It's got 3 buttons on the left hand side of the watch and 2 buttons on the right hand side of the watch. So this is it is their larger watch. It's got a 41mm diameter, and it is the 26mm quick fit band compatible watch with the largest bezel. So this retails at $11.99 from Garmin's website. I got it from Mendelssohn's Pilot Supply here in Australia. Australian dollars $11.99, so it's not a cheap watch to begin with, but it's a very good. It's got a sapphire crystal surface, which is relatively scratch proof, and it also serves as a Wi-Fi signal receiver. It's the bezel is made out of titanium, and the back is out of fiber reinforced polymer. Now this watch does the $1,200 version, Australian $1,200 version, comes with a set of bands. These are the rubber or the silicon quick fit bands, and you also get these 26mm the leather quick fit bands as well. These are the leather bands, and they're very easy to change. So here is what it looks like on my wrist. I am 6'1" tall, and I am about 80 kilograms weight, and this sits very nicely, very squarely on my wrist. It doesn't look big at all. It looks quite okay, and this on the surface might look like it's sitting up too far, that it's gonna be an inconvenience to put this watch on and leave it on 24/7, but I can tell you, having lived with it for a few days now, it really isn't. It is super comfy, and it is really it doesn't stick out by far at all. I usually have the rubber or the silicone band on and leave that on. That is the most comfortable band to wear, and as I mentioned earlier, it's a quick snap and away you go. So now we're going to go into the detail of the Garmin D2 Charlie fitness watch. So this is, unlike the Fenix 5, this is made primarily out of sapphire crystal. The top is a scratch resistant sapphire crystal, and the bezel material is titanium, and the case is made out of reinforced fiber material, so it's incredibly sturdy. It is shockproof and waterproof, and the bands are, as I mentioned earlier, they're 26mm bands that are quick release. Here you can do a quick release motion, and this band just snaps right off it. Quite a good looking band as well, very, very comfortable, very soft, and quite thin but quite resilient. in terms of its build quality. Now it's 51mm in diameter. The outer bezel diameter is 51mm and it is 17.5mm thick, so it's quite a thick watch, as you can tell. Weight wise, with the silicon band, it's 89 grams. If you put the other metallic band on, then it's going to be a bit more weighty, so it'll be 147 grams, I think it is. And if you put the leather band on, it's slightly more expensive, more heavy. Now this is 10 atmosphere water rated, so you can easily take it in the swimming pool or even on your scuba dive trip and it won't budge. The display is sunlight visible. Now I don't have sunlight here, but I can mimic what it's going to look like in the sunlight. So this is quite a decent visibility. You can clearly see all the writings in the watch and they're very clear. There's a 30.4mm display size, so the display is actually quite small. If I lighten it up, then you might be able to see it, that there's a bezel to the display before this is the actual bezel. Quite a lot of bezel, but because of its chrome accent, the thing actually looks much wider than it actually is, which is a good thing. Now it's a fairly high resolution screen for a watch of this size. It is coming in at 240 by 240 in terms of its resolution. The battery life is up to 12 days for a smartwatch, so that's a very, very good feature. You're not going to have to charge it every single day. And there's 16 gigabytes of internal memory, but this memory is not available for music storage or anything like that. It is for the maps. Now it's got all the clock features that are included in all other watches, so there's no surprises there. It does everything that it says on the package, etc. But it has several sensors. It's got a GPS sensor. It's got what's called a GLONASS sensor, so that's usually where the GPS is not very functional. There is a barometric altimeter, and there's a wrist-based heart rate, and this heart rate is actually very, very good. It is quite accurate, and you have to remember that this heart rate is only accurate in its when it's at a lower pace. If you're running or doing high impact activity, this heart rate is not accurate and you will need a chest heart rate strap. So it's got a compass, an accelerometer and a thermometer to measure all your temperatures as well. Now this is a smartwatch, so it does give you options of connectivity. It will link with Garmin Connect and it will show you all the stats of a fitness watch. So this is an aviation watch and a fitness watch and a smartwatch all in one. Gives you calendar, gives you weather, gives you your ability to control music, and you can find your watch, find your phone, and there is a controllability verb, the VIRB verb. Cameras can be controlled by this as well. Now aviation wise, that's where this watch shines. So if you double click that, then it shows you your immediate altimeter and track and vertical speed and your compass headings as well. So here you've got a barometric reading and a track, and if you push down on the button, then it'll show you the bearing, and nearest to my position is Wagga, and track is 10 meters and distance is 0. And here is a compass heading right there, and here is the barometric altimeter and track and vertical speed. It shows shows that I'm falling by 50 meters. I hope that's certainly not the case. So you can modify what information you want to show in here. These are your flight instruments, the primary flight instruments. Now you can cancel out of that, and then you can go back to your home screen, and there are several functions that you can do. You can set flying motion, so anytime you want to go into a setup. I do want to make another video for setup, but when you want to go into the setup mode, you can actually double click and hold, and then you can change all your setups from here. But if you just click on that button there, then it's a fly button, and you click on it, then it shows you the instruments, and the moment your vertical speed exceeds 500 meters per second, you can change that. I'll change it to 200 meters per second. Then the watch actually automatically recognizes that you are in flight, and it'll record the flight. It'll record the GPS headings, it'll record compass headings, it'll record your vertical speed, your distance travel, your average speed, and whole host of data it will start to record for you. So that's a very, very handy speed. It's an automatically initiated feature for this watch, which is particularly helpful if you forget to turn it on. Now the other cool thing is the NEXRAD weather information that you can get. So if you are into aviation, you realize NEXRAD weather is a system of weather that is good for aviation. So if you push on it, in my case it won't show because it's waiting for GPS because I'm indoors, but if you are outdoors, it'll show you a NEXRAD weather information, and you can use that weather to navigate. Now, it's never recommended that you use this as a primary method of navigation, but if you do ever get into a situation where your primary instruments have failed, this will get you to the ground. The other option is navigate to the nearest VOR. So if you press and hold, it'll come up with this direct to, and you can put the VOR's ident in here, and it will take you straight to that VOR. So these are nifty little features. I'm not quite sure in the real world how handy these features are, but it's good to know that a watch that looks this good has this functionality that is very, very handy. The other information is METAR information, so you can get, so here I'm going through widgets. I'll show you again. So if you push the right hand button down, sorry, the left hand button, then it'll take you through the widgets, and the first one is, in my case, the heart rate monitor, and you can see that I've been holding it in my hand and not wearing it. 23 degrees, a bit cloudy today, and 0% rain precipitation so far. But also, if you look at the stats, so I've done 266, been a bit lazy today. This is compass heading, this is altimeter, 949 feet altitude is where we are at the moment, and this is the barometric measurements of where I've been today. And here is the temperature, 33 degrees, and this is the METAR for the airport that I'm nearest to, 150 degrees. At 7 knots is the wind, visibility 10 kilometers, and skies are clear. That's a METAR information right there, and now is the new METAR information coming in as this is talking to my smartphone. Now you have to have that attached to your smartphone for that METAR and the TAF to work, but it's a good way to quickly check your weather before you are going flying. And Worldwide Nav and Intersection Database is all there. So so my last flight is recorded here. I went flying a couple of days ago, and those are my numbers right there. So that wasn't a bad flight. So you can add time zones and a whole host of other things which I will cover in greater detail later on. The map functionality is also another useful functionality. So if you press on the go to button, and you can simply scroll down. Now, by the way, these two buttons are scroll up and down, not this one. So that's up and that's scroll down. So if you go onto the scroll, if you scroll down, you can save your shortcuts, and then you can go to navigate, and it will simply show you a point of interest navigation, and you can navigate to a city, and I'm around Karingal, and here you've got Nexrad loading. Here we go, we have the Nexrad weather information handy for us. We can now zoom in and out of the Nexrad and see what's going on in our location, and we can go right into it and see there's a little bit of weather off to our left hand side, but otherwise generally clear. So that's a great feature to have as well. Anyway, so the other things you can do now in terms of your activity tracking, there's a lot that you can do as well with your activity tracking. You can do everything that a smartwatch can do. Your sleep counting, your auto goal settings. You can do sleep monitoring as well, calorie burns, floor climb, distance traveled, intensity minutes, fitness age, everything else. And you can have your preloaded fitness profiles. So if you look in here, so I have got a strength training because that's what I do more often, and I've got treadmill and bike indoors and row indoors profiles which I can use. So these are very, very handy for me. So you can do running features as well. So I have got strength and treadmill and bike indoors and a few others, row indoors and that sort of thing built in. You can build a whole host of these that are available from the website and also available through Connect IQ. You can actually create your own as well. Now there are several watch faces that are very beautiful in here. Here is the watch face that I like the most. It has got the Zulu time here, the universal UTC time. It has my tail number here, and it shows the steps that I've taken today. You can customize all of that. You can just go watch face, and you can choose a whole bunch of watch faces to your liking as well. So there are these options that you can, and you can download a whole heap of others from Garmin Connect, and then you can actually customize, and you can customize this watch face to you can choose whatever dials you want to choose, and you can display all these information there and have whatever watch face you like. I like this one, so save the changes. No, I don't want to save any changes, so I'll just go back out of there, and it has changed the watch face, so I'm just going to change it quickly back to where I was, and I like it so far, so I'll keep it and go apply, and you could see that there was a customize button there as well. So you can customize your watch face as well. So this is Bluetooth compatible and ANT+ compatible, so you can attach all your sensors to it. You can go swimming, and it will the HRM Tri monitor will store your heart rate if you wanted to just check your heart rate. And if you're a runner, it will check your cadence. You can check your vertical oscillation and a whole host of other things, provided that the Bluetooth or the ANT+ does the same thing, the measurements. Now you can do golfing as well, so there is a golf button here. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button there. So you can choose to go and do golfing. So I can go fly, or strength, treadmill, bike, indoor, row, or a whole track meal, walk, map, stress, and you can add other activities, and you can add trail run, indoor track, hike, climb, bike, MTB, pool, swim, and goes on and on and on. And then there is the golfing, and you can also change all your settings that you would like to see. Okay, so all these preloaded features, but you can do it. But you can also do point-to-point navigation. So if you really want to just go from A to B using your watch, particularly if you're going for a walk, you can do that using this watch. So you can just go walk, and it will just go walking with you, or you can just go navigate, and it'll just go to courses, round trip courses, activities, save location, sight and go, or coordinates, and use the map. And simply use the map and then decide where you want to go. And you can select that area, or you can go north from that area, and the map, just give it a minute to load, and you can go to the side and further north and off to the side, and then select, and it will take you there. So, and then that's it. And then if you just click on it and go, press and hold, and then hit go, and then it'll calculate the distance for you, and away you go. It's showing you that you're in a plane, but that doesn't really matter. That's just the watch, because it's a flight watch. So it's calculating, and once it calculates, it will show you a course to the actual activity area or where you want it to go. You can also add cycling features to the watch, interval training features, time and distance. You can do a bike auto lapse. You can do compatibility with vectors. If you have a power meter, then you can use it. This is actually acquiring GPS, which is why it's taking the time. We'll just get out of that in the interest of time. So here is the actual GPS's details as to what it is trying to do. So I'm just going to calculate out of that. I'm just going to get out of that. So you can take it swimming. You can do a whole host of swimming related metrics on it as well, and whole lot of things. So the opportunities, the options of using this watch is endless, and in all likelihood this is a watch for a modern aviation enthusiast. It looks good. It is a very good quality build. It's rugged, it's sturdy, not necessarily cheap, but it is a very capable watch. It is literally unbreakable. It is sapphire glass, it's got Wi-Fi, it's got Bluetooth, it's got all sorts of gadgets, and it looks very beautiful as well. You can download many watch faces as well. There's a few things that I've discovered. I always wondered whether this watch must remain always on. The answer is no, it doesn't have to be. There are apps or widgets that you can download from Connect IQ Store. There are watch faces you can download from there, and one of these watch faces will turn it completely blank so that it looks more like a smart watch, like a Samsung Gear sort of thing, if that's the look you go for. But I don't mind it this way. It actually looks very nice, even when it is on, so I don't mind it at all. So there you have it. That's your Garmin D2 Charlie in a short summary. Thank you for watching.